I'm Tanelli and today we're going to talk about the fear you have of getting close to people. I ask that you subscribe to our channel and activate the bell to receive notifications. If you in your life have heard from a family friend or even in your husband your wife a sentence that you don't care, that you are a person who keeps a distance, that you seem like a person who doesn't like people, this shows that you have traits that you may be afraid to approach people. This happens not because you don't like them but because you have difficulty expressing yourself and you for some reason, probably unconscious, you create very strong bonds with people. Usually people who are afraid of intimacy with other people have in their unconscious the fear of abandonment, which probably happened in childhood. If your parents weren't partners and your parents weren't there and your parents somehow left you alone a lot of time, it creates a type of anxiety inside you that makes you feel that unconscious fear in adulthood, and somehow the way this whole situation affected you is a point where you understand that other people are unreliable without realizing it. You only believe in yourself, and in relation to other people you try not to create any intimacy, but all this happens through the process of perhaps being neglected. Will the other person leave you? Will they abandon you, or will they simply ignore you? That's why you avoid long-term commitments. Able to do everything alone, has a lot of knowledge and self-sufficient, but not realizing all this can make us proud people. Why will we end up doing everything of our own just the way and without worrying about asking other people for help? It is essential in our life that other people help us, otherwise we end up becoming extremely proud people, and all this goes to show us that unconsciously we need those feelings of feeling control over everything, and this will provide us with emotional detachment from other people. The illusion of freedom begins when you try to keep others at a distance. The fact that you let the person help you when you need it creates a feeling of debasement, and this makes you a person who is more afraid of creating intimacy. Another type of personality who is afraid to get close to people is that person who has a rotten finger when choosing a partner. Usually this person always ends up choosing more of the same. She chooses a person who is already committed, a person who is emotionally distant, or still it brings abusive behavior to the relationship. Our unconscious makes these choices out of fear of intimacy, because in a way when you have a partner who makes you unhappy, you unconsciously have an excuse to stay away from that person. We always end up attracting complicated people with addictions, unfortunately, that will bring our life many difficulties, and with that we become more and more distant. Or are you the type of person who just disappears from the map when you have a good date? One happy night you get together with friends and you chat, the next day you decide it's time to disappear. Well, that kind of attitude will show you that you have a fear of maintaining an honest emotional connection. Every time you find someone emotionally compatible with you and you have a good time, your fear makes you withdraw, and this prevents you from creating more bonds in this whole process. If that's why you're afraid of getting hurt in the end, another type of person is the perfectionist who needs to show everyone through the use of a social mask how great he is. He never shows who he really is. He ultimately is afraid of being rejected and never shows his flaws, and the way you turn people off is by showing yourself perfect, because that makes them not want to get too close and always feel capable of reaching your level. When you diminish another person through your perfectionism, you push that person away from you. Totally immersed in your work, well, that's also a way of wanting to push people away from you. Any kind of relationship is viable because you never have time for it. That makes you look away from yourself and realize your emotions and want to deal with your personal issues. Is it that you're working too much? Isn't simply to get away from some deeper relationship or some connection with someone else? Or is it that you push people away by being a self-saboteur because you always do or say things to hurt someone else? You have a tendency to cheat or betray even knowing you will be found out. Do you not get it into your head that the other has certain difficulties and says they are not compatible with you? All of this could be due to the simple fact that you want the other person to stay away from you to save yourself. To self-sabotage is to rob that person of the possibility of having a happy and stable relationship. The fear of intimacy probably starts in childhood. What upbringing did you receive from your parents? Every child has a natural need to stay close to their parents and caregivers because they need to feel safe and comfortable. Childhood, we probably have few resources to deal with the problems that are affecting our psyche, but as an adult we can realize that everything that was painful during childhood does not need to define who we really are, and much less needs to haunt our present and our future. And when you discover that you can free yourself from these problems that are in your past, you can finally live with freedom in an authentic and very pleasurable way, a self-fulfilling way of behaving in life. And to know if this is what is happening to you is very simple. Ask yourself honestly what the reasons are for these kinds of feelings. Is simply being honest with yourself SMO to break this vicious circle that is in your psyche.